Are you ready to take a tour of some of the most dangerous prisons in the world? From overcrowding to violence and torture, these prisons are notorious for their harsh conditions and unforgiving environments. Behind the towering walls and razor wire fences lie stories of brutality, corruption, and desperation that will shock you to the core. Let's explore the stories and conditions behind the walls of prisons. In this video, we'll take a closer look at what makes them so infamous. Don't miss out on this gripping and eye-opening journey into the 10 most dangerous prisons in the world. 10. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Black Dolphin is one of the most infamous and feared prisons in Russia, known for its strict regime and brutal conditions. Located in the Orenburg Oblast region of Russia, it's officially known as Penal Colony No. 6. Originally built in the 1700s, it's been used as a prison since the 1800s. The name Black Dolphin is derived from a combination of the words black for its strictness and dolphin due to the prison's location near a dolphin-shaped river. Black Dolphin is a maximum security prison that houses some of Russia's most dangerous criminals, including serial killers, rapists, and terrorists. The prison is known for its strict regime, which includes 22-hour-per-day solitary confinement, strict discipline, and forced labor. Inmates are also subject to physical and psychological abuse by prison staff, including beatings and torture. The conditions in Black Dolphins are so harsh that some inmates have resorted to hunger strikes and even suicide to protest their treatment. 9. Kamiti Maximum Security Prison, Kenya. Kamiti Maximum Security Prison is one of the largest and most notorious prisons in Kenya. Established in 1965, it was originally designed to hold around 600 prisoners. However, due to overcrowding, it currently houses over 4,000 inmates, many of whom are serving long sentences for serious crimes, such as murder, robbery with violence, and drug trafficking. Kamiti Maximum Security Prison is known for its harsh living conditions, including poor sanitation, inadequate food, and limited access to medical care. The prison has also been criticized for human rights abuses, including reports of torture and extrajudicial killings. 8. Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute is a federal prison located in Terre Haute, Indiana, USA. It is used to house some of the country's most dangerous criminals, including terrorists, murderers, and drug traffickers. The facility was first opened in 1940 as a medium-security prison, but after the September 11th terrorist attacks, it was converted into a maximum-security prison. In 2001, the prison received notoriety as it became the site of the Federal Execution Chamber, where prisoners sentenced to death by the federal government are executed by legal injection. Terre Haute is a sprawling complex covering over 1,000 acres and has several different units, including a maximum security unit, a medium security unit, and a minimum security camp. The prison has a reputation for being one of the most secure prisons in the country, with state-of-the-art security systems, including electronic surveillance and a heavily armed perimeter. While Terre Haute has a reputation for being a tough and secure facility, it has also faced criticism over the years for its treatment of prisoners, particularly in relation to the use of solitary confinement and the conditions in the death row unit. 7. Bang Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Bang Kwang Central Prison is a high-security prison located in the Nonthaburi province, just north of Bangkok, Thailand. The prison is known for its strict rules and harsh conditions, earning it the nickname Bangkok Hilton among inmates. Bang Kwang is the largest and oldest prison in Thailand, housing both male and female inmates convicted of a wide range of crimes, including drug offenses, murder, and political dissent. The prison is notorious for its tough regime, including restricted movement, limited access to medical care, and a high level of discipline enforced by guards. Bang Kwang Central Prison is a notorious and challenging place for inmates. 6. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Guantanamo Bay is a detention camp located on the southeastern coast of Cuba that was established in 2002 by the United States government to hold individuals suspected of terrorism. The prison's been controversial due to allegations of human rights abuses, including the use of torture and indefinite detention without trial. Many of the prisoners at Guantanamo have been held for years without being charged with any crime, and have not received a fair trial. In addition, there have been reports of mistreatment and abuse, including waterboarding and other forms of torture, used to extract information from detainees. 5. Ciudad Barrios Prison, El Salvador. Ciudad Barrios is a maximum security prison located in El Salvador. It was originally built in the 1990s to house high-risk inmates, including members of gangs and organized crime groups. However, the prison has been criticized for its poor conditions, including overcrowding, inadequate medical care, and reports of violence and abuse. In 2019, the government of El Salvador launched a new initiative to improve the conditions in the prison and reduce gang violence, which included the installation of new security measures and the separation of inmates by gang affiliation. In 2021, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, IACHR, called for urgent action to address human rights violations in the prison and improve the living conditions of inmates. 4. Maracaibo National Prison, Venezuela. Maracaibo National Prison is a large prison located in the city of Maracaibo, Venezuela. It has been plagued by overcrowding, violence, and poor living conditions for many years. Reports suggest that the prison is severely understaffed, and inmates often have to rely on their own resources to meet their basic needs. There have been numerous reports of violence and riots in the prison, often involving clashes between rival gangs. In 2019, a riot broke out in the prison that resulted in at least 29 deaths and dozens of injuries. The Venezuelan government acknowledged the problems at Maracaibo National Prison, and in 2020, they announced plans to build new prisons and improve conditions in existing facilities. Still, it remains to be seen if these efforts will be successful in improving the situation in Maracaibo and other prisons in Venezuela. 3. La Modelo, Colombia. La Modelo is a prison located in Bogotá, the capital city of Colombia. The prison has a long history of overcrowding, violence, and poor living conditions, which have been criticized by human rights organizations and inmates alike. In recent years, there have been several riots and protests at La Modelo, with inmates demanding better treatment and improved living conditions. One of the most severe incidents at La Modelo occurred in 2020, when a riot broke out that resulted in the deaths of 23 inmates and dozens of injuries. The riot was reportedly sparked by concerns about the spread of COVID-19 within the prison, as well as broader issues related to living conditions and mistreatment by prison officials. The Colombian government has acknowledged the problems at La Modelo and other prisons in the country, and has promised to take steps to address them. However, the challenges facing the Colombian prison system are complex and will require significant resources and reforms to improve the safety and well-being of inmates and prison staff. 2. Camp 22, North Korea. Camp 22, also known as the Harrowing concentration camp, was a North Korean prison camp located in the northeastern part of the country. The camp was notorious for its harsh living conditions, brutal treatment of inmates, and use of forced labor. Former inmates have reported being subjected to torture, starvation, and forced labor in mines, factories, and other harsh environments. Many of the inmates were political prisoners, or individuals who had been accused of crimes against the state. But there were also reports of innocent people being sent to the camp. The North Korean government has denied the existence of Camp 22 and other prison camps in the country, but there is significant evidence to suggest that they exist and have been used to imprison and mistreat thousands of people. The international community has been called for the closure of these camps and for the North Korean government to be held accountable to its human rights abuses. 1. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Gitarama Prison is a maximum security prison located in the town of Gitarama in central Rwanda. It was built in the 1930s, during the colonial era, and was initially designed to house around 400 inmates. During the 1994 Rwandan genocide, the prison became severely overcrowded as thousands of people were arrested and detained for their alleged involvement in the genocide. At its peak, the prison held over 7,000 inmates, most of whom were Hulu. In the years following the genocide, the Rwandan government initiated a process of transitional justice, including the use of traditional community-based Gacaca courts to try suspected perpetrators. Many of those held at Gitarama were eventually released or transferred to other facilities. Today, Gitarama remains an active prison and houses both male and female inmates. The conditions at the prison have been the subject of criticism, with reports of overcrowding, poor sanitation, and inadequate medical care.